No, if somebody's an idol worshiper, then it's a mitzvah to kill them. Because at the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, he was the first Sanhedrin, he was the first Bedin. So Moshe Rabbeinu was the head Bedin. He says death penalty to the idol worshippers. So it's a mitzvah. Whoever's for God is going to fulfill the mitzvah. He's going to go kill. Not everybody ran after this mitzvah, obviously, because no one wanted to necessarily kill their brother or their cousin or so on. But only the people that were glued to Hashem, the Levi tribe, did it. And that's also the reason of why they were the ones that were elected to be in the Bet HaMikdash. Point being is that at the time of Moshe Rabbeinu and also the time of the Bet HaMikdash, we had a Sanhedrin. And the Sanhedrin was able to fulfill the law of Hashem, and part of that law was death penalty. For anyone that violated the Torah could get a death penalty or lashes. So for example, someone asked me on the internet, saying, how do we know that Ruth, where David HaMelech's great-grandmother, and the Mashiach comes from her, how do we know that Ruth converted Orthodox? Maybe she converted conservative. Maybe she converted Reform. How do we know?
That existed?
No. Well, first of all, it didn't exist. But how do we know she definitely converted Orthodox and nothing else? Not because Orthodox was the only one that existed. Because there were other religions. There was Sadducees, there was Sadducees, there was all idol worship. How do we know? Because at the time of Ruth, the Bet Din was still around. The Sanhedrin was still around. Which means that if a Jew violated Shabbat, they'd simply kill him. Meaning, if the Reform or Conservative were there, they will only be there for 24 hours because the Sanhedrin will kill all of them. Because as soon as they drive on Shabbat or light fire on Shabbat, they'll all be death penalty. Today, we're not allowed to give anybody death penalty because we don't have a Sanhedrin. But the point being is that in those times, we had the permission, the full permission and authority from the Torah, from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to give the death penalty to anyone that violated specific things.